once you've cut your blade out, you should be ready to start filing these edges. Now you should have a close look to your edge. You'll notice that my cut line, okay, whilst it's close to the witness mark, I haven't taken out the witness mark at all, so I can still see all those center punch lines there, dots there, sorry. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to file. We use 3 different files. So the first file we're going to use is called a bastard file. We will then, so the bastard file looks like that. It's quite coarse. The teeth on the bastard file are very coarse. It takes a lot of material off quite quickly. Okay, so we're going to start with that one. However, it leaves a lot of scratch marks and rough, and that edge quite rough and coarse. So then we step to the next file. So the next file is the second cut file. Okay, so that has slightly finer teeth in there, and that starts to take away some of those marks that were left behind by the bastard file. Okay, and then finally, with our filing, we will use a hand smooth file. Okay, and that just starts to smooth over the surface that we have there. Okay, before we use our file, we have here something that's called a file card. Really need to take a lot of care of your files to make sure that you're getting the best performance out of them. Okay, so just make sure before we use our file, okay, just run the file card there and clean any swarf material that might be left inside, in between the teeth there. Okay, so with your blade, we're going to pop this into the vise. Try to get it nice and low to the jaws. Okay, and the technique that we are going to use here is called draw filing. Okay, now draw filing, 2 hands. So I've got that nice and low in the vise, so you can see there. Okay, we have our bastard file, and I'm going to stand somewhat on a 45-degree angle to my work. Okay, I can see the line that I want to file to. That's really important that you can see the witness marks. Okay, holding your file, so with both hands, my thumb, both hands underneath, and my index finger and my middle fingers are then applying pressure there to keep that nice and steady. Okay, and what we do, keeping the file nice and level, we're only filing on the push stroke. So we don't go back and forward. Okay, we certainly don't file across that way. Okay, so draw filing, filing this way. So stop and check every so often to see where your higher points are. You need to focus a lot more filing where it's higher and you're further away from the line. Okay, if you just blindly file, you're going to have a surface that is uneven, and you may end up filing past the witness mark and onto your actual blade. Okay, so really take your time there. Filing with the bastard file, you really want to just get all of your marks as close to that witness mark as possible, okay? Obviously without going past your line, okay? You'll notice, well, the next thing we'll do is we'll file this top section here, okay? Pop it in the vise like that, okay? Again, bastard file. This one you may have to push through. I'll drop that down a little bit. You may have to just get eye level. Okay, try and get everything. This bit's a little bit higher here, so I'm just trying to file that down. Okay, just stop and check, get eye level, make sure that you aren't going too far. And And let's start that draw filing. Okay. You'll start to see, it's very difficult to see there, but you'll start to see some of those, okay, those indentations come through. Okay, and they're from the witness mark. Okay, I'll just quickly touch up these other sides as well. Okay, keep it low in the vise. You can hear that noise, it's quite loud. Okay, you can also put some strips of timber in the vise that can absorb some of the noise as well if it's getting too loud. Okay, I usually find if you put it low in the vise, it doesn't make as much noise. Okay, so a little bit more this way as well. So it's all about the way you position your work in the vise. And obviously just stop and check frequently. Okay, we can do the same thing to these cutout sections as well. Okay, by now you would have filed all your edges with the bastard file, okay, to get that to your line that you want to get to. Okay, however, you will find that it is quite rough and coarse. There's quite a lot of burrs on that edge. Now, to get them out, we need to use our second cut file. We're going to do the same process that we did with the bastard file, but we're going to do it with the second cut file. So when you place this in the file, place it in the vise, nice and low. Okay, and now grab your second cut file. Okay, and same process. Okay, filing through. Okay, keeping a really close eye on your witness mark. Okay, and again, this file isn't going to take off a lot of material. Okay, it will take off a little bit, but what it's mainly doing, okay, is starting to clean up a lot of the rough and coarse edges that were left behind by your bastard file. Okay, follow that around. And what we're going to do is repeat the process all around the edge of our shovel blade. So now I've just finished filing my edges with the second cut file. So you can see that some of those really coarse marks are starting to come out. You can still see just the edge of my witness mark along that edge there. Okay, however, you will also notice that we have a burr right along the edge. So we're going to file an arris along those sharp edges just to knock off the sharp edge, but also the burr that is on that edge as well. Okay, so if we put this in our vise, I actually like to sit it up a little bit higher now. That gives me an opportunity to get under the edge. Okay, we are now using our hand smooth file. Okay, the teeth are very fine. This is going to start to give us a nice smooth finish on our edge there. Okay, so I will start by filing my edge. Okay, so I can see those lines are starting to come out, and if I hold the file on a 45-degree angle and just skim off that sharp corner, and that's giving that edge an arris, and what it's doing is removing any sharp burr that's on there. So you need to do that all the way around your whole blade. Okay? we have our blade all nicely filed and we have all of our edge really smooth and there's nothing sharp or any burrs on the edge, it's time to fold our blade to its shape. Okay, and to do that we're going to use our pan brake. Pan brake, really, you need to be really careful with this. Okay, obviously you don't want to squish any of your fingers or any part of your body in these teeth. Okay, you'll notice down the bottom, so how this works. Okay, there's that foot pedal. Okay, rams on the side, so if we just unlock that pedal, it will spring loaded, lifts up, lifts these teeth. Okay, we place our material, okay, along the edge of the teeth, clamp it back down, and then we fold this arm up to the angle that we want to fold our material at. Okay, so firstly we're going to fold back our tabs at the back of our blade at a 90-degree angle. So just slightly lift those teeth and place your blade where you need it and slowly and gently lock that in place. Okay, lifting our blade up and we stop once we're at 90 degrees. So once I'm there, I go about a degree, but probably about 2 or 3 degrees more because it spring loads back. Okay, holding onto your blade when you release. Okay, so we've done those tabs. Now what we're going to do, okay, is fold the side tabs. Now you need to be really careful here. If you place that just in there, you're going to end up having the back tab, okay, interfere with the tooth there. So what you need to do is slide this to the edge of a tooth, okay, and have your tab not set up so it's not going to interfere with our pan brake teeth there. Clamp that in place, okay, and folding this up to 90 degrees as well, just there. Okay, and so you should have something that looks like that. Okay, and we're going to do the same on this side here. So I'll use this one here, lining up my line, making sure that tab's not going to get in the way. Click it in place and fold that up at 90 degrees. Okay, okay, so it should look like that. So that's the first step of folding our blade. Okay, so the next fold, we have 2 folds and they are just along, if you can see these 2 lines, this V, these diagonal lines here, we're going to fold them only slightly. These are at 30 degrees. Okay, so again, we want to position our blade in the pan brake so that these tabs aren't going to get any interference. So I found a gap here, so I'll place that in there. So if I just gently open that up and be very careful to line our line up. Okay. Now if you have a look on the edge of the pan brake, when this mark goes to that point there, okay, that's when we need to stop. That folding nice and carefully, and I'm going to stop. So we can see this mark here has met that point. We stop. Okay, release that. So that's our first angle. Let's turn this around and do the same to the opposite diagonal line. Okay, clamp that in place. And again, fold that just to the first permanent marker line there. Okay, so that's our blade essentially complete, ready for our brackets to go on there. Okay.